All right, so we hear about the AI race all the time, right? It's this massive, high-stakes competition for who's going to rule the future of tech. But if you look past all the hype, who's actually leading the pack? Well, we're going to dig into the data and find out.
I mean, it feels like a new major AI tool launches every other week. You've got ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, Elon Musk's Grok. The list just keeps growing. They're all fighting for our attention. So the real question is, who's really on top of the mountain?
So to get some real answers, we're not going to guess. We're turning to the hard data. There's this fantastic new report from the venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz, and they analyzed everything, website visits, mobile app usage, to paint a really clear picture. And let me tell you, the results are pretty fascinating.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the reigning champion. And spoiler alert, it's probably not going to surprise you who it is. OpenAI's ChatGPT is still the one to beat, but it's the scale of its dominance that is just, well, it's mind-boggling. Just look at that number for a second. 5.72 billion. That's how many visits ChatGPT's website gets every single month. A number that big really puts it in a whole other league. It's pretty much cemented its spot as the world's #1 AI tool.
And to put that into perspective for you, it's staggering. See that first bar? That's ChatGPT's web traffic, and it absolutely dwarfs its closest competitor, Google's Gemini. I mean, Gemini's traffic is only about 12% of ChatGPT's. It's not even close. That is a massive lead.
And you know what? This isn't just a web story. When you look at mobile apps, it's pretty much the same deal. Yeah, the gap gets a little smaller, but Gemini, the runner-up, still only has about half the active users that ChatGPT has. It's basically winning on both fronts.
But okay, this race is far from over. So while ChatGPT is sitting pretty comfortably on the throne for now, there are some serious challengers making some incredible moves and gaining ground fast. So let's see who's closing in. The #1 contender is, without a doubt, Google's Gemini. Even though it's a distant second, you just can't deny its momentum. Its web traffic has more than doubled in just a few months, shooting up from 284 million visits in February to 700 million in July. So yeah, Google is very much still in this fight. Then you've got the rising star of the AI world, Perplexity. This thing is climbing the charts so quickly it's turning heads everywhere, especially on mobile. Its growth there has just been meteoric.
And this really shows you just how incredible that climb has been. We're talking just 4 months, from March to July, and Perplexity's mobile app went from 50th place all the way into the top 10. That kind of jump tells you this is a product that's really starting to catch fire. And of course, you can't talk about challengers without talking about the dark horse in this race, Grok. Backed by Elon Musk, this AI tool basically popped up out of nowhere and immediately started pulling in a huge number of users.
Its growth trajectory is just insane. At the end of 2024, Grok didn't even have a mobile app. Fast forward to July of the next year, 20 million active users. That's 0 to 20 million in about 6 months. That's the kind of explosive debut that puts everybody on notice.
So what all this really shows us is that we're not watching a single race, but 2. The battle is being fought on totally different fronts: websites and mobile apps. And as you can see, the list of top players looks pretty different depending on which battlefield you're looking at.
And it's also worth pointing out that not every tech giant is, knocking it out of the park. Take Meta, for example. It seems to be lagging behind by a lot. Its AI tool is way down at 46th place on websites and didn't even make the top 50 list for mobile apps. It's a tough market out there, even for the giants. Okay, let's switch gears for a second, because everything we've talked about so far, that's mostly the story in the West. But over in China, the AI ecosystem is playing out on a whole other level. It's like a completely separate universe. And this quote, this really says it all. Because of government restrictions on foreign tools like ChatGPT and Gemini, China has basically built its own parallel AI world. And that means a different set of rules and, you guessed it, a different set of winners.
Just look at this chart. It shows you exactly how self-contained China's market is. For their top AI platforms, more than 3/4 of all their traffic comes from right inside the country. We're talking about a domestic powerhouse.
And don't think for a second these are just small, local players. These platforms are major global contenders. You've got Alibaba's Quark, ByteDance's Dubao, and Moonshot AI's Kimi. They've all broken into the global top 20 for web traffic.
That proves just how big and sophisticated China's domestic AI industry really is.
But where China really flexes its muscles is on mobile. Get this, an incredible 22 of the top 50 AI apps in the entire world were developed in China. They're especially dominant in photo and video apps, partly because they have a ton of research talent and more relaxed copyright rules.
Okay, so after digging through all of that data, what's the big picture? What have we learned about where the global AI race stands right now, and maybe what the future holds?
All right, let's boil it all down. There are three main things to take away from this. First, ChatGPT has a huge lead, but the race is definitely tightening up, with challengers gaining speed. Second, mobile is its own critical battleground, and things can change there really, really fast. And third, China is its own self-contained AI giant with its own set of powerful players.
And that leaves us with the million-dollar question, doesn't it? The growth in this space is just explosive, unlike anything we've really seen before. New challengers are rising up out of nowhere. So given that insane pace, who do you think will be sitting on the AI throne this time next year?